On Inside Edition, we take a walk to a more innocent time, July 20th, 1969, the day the world held its breath and watched the most amazing pictures ever taken.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
It's been 20 years since we fulfilled the dream of all mankind on Inside Edition, a special tribute to a nation that dared to dream. Welcome to Inside Edition. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Our program today will make you feel good. We'll have an update on James Richardson, see how he's doing after spending 21 years in jail for a crime he did not commit. But up front, today is the 20th anniversary of the first man on the moon. Remember that? What a sight. The pictures are still amazing. Here's Joel Loy.
It's been 2 decades since Neil Armstrong took man's first steps on the moon. 20 years since an impractical dream became a reality.
It marked the achievement that 1/3 people had been working for a decade to accomplish. And it was a feeling of we, 1/3 people, managed it.
What they managed to do was boost national pride and command the lead in the space race with the Soviet Union. They also fulfilled the vision of a president who never lived to see it.
For the eyes of the world now look into space, to the moon and to the planets beyond. And we have vowed that we shall not see it governed by a hostile flag of conquest, but by a banner of freedom and peace.
In powerful speeches to Congress and the American public, John F. Kennedy committed a nation and billions of dollars to a space program that would see a man safely to the moon and back. That mission was Apollo 11, a major breakthrough in space travel. Apollo 11 evolved from NASA's earlier projects, Mercury and Gemini.
To me, the fundamental lesson of Apollo, we can operate successfully in places other than the surface of the Earth.
At a recent press conference, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Mike Collins relived their fantastic voyage, which started at Cape Kennedy July 16, 1969. Apollo 11 rose through the sky with the goal of landing 2 astronaut explorers on the lunar surface 4 days later. A space module called Columbia, with a lunar module in tow, zoomed into deep space, leaving home behind. They were 3 men alone with their duty and their fears.
I think probably the thing you fear most is the unexpected. We were used to spend a lot of time practicing our responses to various kinds of failures and abnormal circumstances.
You also fear the memories of an earlier Apollo mission when 3 astronauts were burned alive in their space capsule during a routine test. But at 50,000 feet above the moon, you push fear out of your mind and deal with the job at hand. With Collins alone in the orbiting Columbia, Armstrong and Aldrin began a harrowing descent to the lunar surface. Then, without warning, alarms went off. The computer guidance system overloaded and the spacecraft overshot its landing site. His pulse rate at 156, Armstrong went to manual control and looked for an alternate site.
Apollo 11, this is Houston. How do you read?
The Eagle had less than 60 seconds of descent fuel left, and Mission Control in Houston was counting down for a mandatory abort. With 20 seconds left, they were 50 feet above the surface. If Armstrong tried to pull out now, he'd never clear the mountains. With help from pilot Aldrin, Armstrong hovered over a field of boulders. Then he spotted a flat clearing. Armstrong brought Eagle to touchdown with only 18 seconds of fuel to spare.
We copy you down, Eagle. Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
6.5 hours later, everything checked out A-OK. And with millions of TV sets tuned in, Armstrong climbed down Eagle's ladder.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Hopefully no trouble to walk around.
And then module pilot Aldrin followed suit. Like aliens on a distant planet, the men set about their exploratory tasks and claimed the new frontier.
Here, men from the planet Earth, first set foot upon the moon, July 1969.
With mission accomplished, the satisfied explorers left their footprints behind and Eagle lifted off. Reunited with Collins, the crew headed for home. After 8 days in space, the men of Apollo splashed down in the Pacific to a presidential greeting aboard the USS Hornet.
There's so many things that can go wrong on a trip to the moon and back, and I can remember being in the mobile quarantine facility, the little house trailer aboard the aircraft carrier after we landed in the Pacific, and thinking, gee, none of them did.
Today, the lives of each astronaut are still touched by that lunar mission. Armstrong heads an aviation software firm. Dr. Aldrin lectures and has a new book out entitled Men from Earth. Mike Collins is writing a book too, promoting an expedition to Mars.
So that when I think of the moon today, I really don't think of it as a destination, but as a stepping stone to more interesting places like Mars and perhaps Titan, one of Saturn's moons.
All for a bigger and better space program, these elder men of space are often called upon to justify a billion-dollar space budget. Some ask, is it worth it, considering what happened to the Challenger?
Challenger, go at throttle up. Roger, go at throttle up.
1 minute, 15 seconds.
Clearly, the worst thing in my mind was the explosion of the Challenger. The best thing, probably the grand tour of the planets, which is about to culminate this August in the flight by Uranus. It seems to me that less than a penny on the federal dollar is not an excessive amount to look toward our future. We're a nation of explorers. It's a fundamental thing to want to go, to touch, to see, to smell, to learn, and that I think will continue in the future.